Hey, it's Patrick Gaines with Propel Technologies. I wanted to bring to your attention an interesting infographic we put together that describes the importance of enhanced oil recovery and technology in driving it as a sector. Enhanced oil recovery is critical to gaining U.S. energy independence, so we thought this would be useful for Propel's customers and stakeholders. It starts off with a graph that shows U.S. oil production, the growth of U.S. oil production over the last few years, and how it is partially driven by innovation in technology. Fracking, of course, being just one of the technologies amongst microbial, well stimulation, and CO2 floods, and of course plasma pulse, which is Propel's technology. This is a graph or a chart that shows a bit of a breakdown of the various technologies: gas floods, chemical, which is fracking, and of course a small but growing portion that includes plasma pulse. One figure that we found very impressive and was pleasantly surprised by was Transparency Research's conclusion that we would be seeing an over 25% compounded annual growth rate of the EOR sector, growing from 38 billion in 2012 to over $500 billion in 2023. And of course this shows the trajectory of oil over the last decade. This is an interesting breakdown of the various methods and their contributions to U.S. energy output. Some of the lower hanging fruit for Propel Technologies are wells that are producing under 10 barrels per day, otherwise known as stripper wells, so you can see that that's a fairly sizable market. And the growth of new wells in the U.S. is also discussed here in this figure. Of course, corresponding with the growth of U.S. oil production is a decline of reliance on imported oil, as we see in this decline of annual U.S. oil imports over the last few years, and this is a trajectory that will, of course, drive the objective of U.S. energy independence. This is another graph that we found interesting. This was from an Ernst & Young report that shows that M&A in the oil field services sector will be centrally driven by access to new technology. Of course, plasma pulse, we feel, is on the cutting edge and hopefully will be fairly central in driving further M&A. So the conclusion of the infographic really is that EOR is driving U.S. energy independence, and it's contributing, particularly technology innovation, is contributing to increasing and improving sustainability of extraction and growing M&A. Hopefully this is helpful to you and informative, and we invite you to retweet this or post any comments that you feel are relevant. Thanks so much.